HOA cops threatened my chickens, then panicked when the rooster chased them off the lot. The sun was dipping low, painting Karen Whitmore's backyard in hues of amber and defiance. Her little patch of suburban Rebelliona chicken coop, housing 6 hens and a rooster named Rusty, was her pride, her sanctuary. Karen, a single mother of 2, had built it with her own hands after her divorce, a symbol of reclaiming her life. The hens clucked softly, oblivious to the storm brewing. But the HOA cops, as she called them, were coming. And they weren't here to admire her handiwork. It started with a letter, crisp and formal, slipped under her door last week. The Meadowview Homeowners Association demanded she dismantle the coop. Unsightly, they called it, a violation of community standards. Karen had laughed bitterly, crumpling the paper. Her neighbors loved the fresh eggs she shared, and her kids, Lily and Max, adored the chickens. But the HOA didn't care about community, they cared about control. Today, 2 officers stood at her gate. Linda Voss, clipboard in hand, and Greg Tanner, a burly man with a scowl that could curdle milk. "You've had your warning, Ms. Whitmore," Linda said, her voice sharp as a paper cut. "Remove the coop by tomorrow, or we'll fine you $500 a day." Karen stood her ground, arms crossed, her work boots planted in the dirt. "This is my property. Those chickens are family. You can't bully me into compliance." Greg stepped forward, his shadow looming over the coop. "We can and we will. You think you're above the rules? We'll have animal control here by morning." The air crackled with tension. Karen's heart pounded, but she wouldn't back down. Her kids were watching from the porch, wide-eyed. She thought of her late father, a farmer who taught her to fight for what mattered. "You touch my hens and you'll regret it," she said, voice low but steady. Linda smirked, jotting something on her clipboard. "Threats won't help, Karen. This is about standards, not personal grudges." But it was personal. Karen knew Linda's power hungry, thriving on petty victories. The HOA had been after her since she painted her mailbox yellow, calling it garish. Now they wanted her chickens gone, and Karen sensed something deeper. Rumor had it Linda's husband owned a landscaping company that wanted Karen's lot for a model garden. This wasn't about rules, it was about greed. Then came the twist no one saw coming. Old Mr. Jenkins, the reclusive widower next door, shuffled out of his house, leaning on his cane. He'd never spoken to Karen beyond a nod, but now his eyes blazed. "Leave her alone," he rasped, voice carrying surprising weight. "I've lived here 40 years. Those chickens don't hurt nobody. You HOA vultures just want her land." Linda froze, her pen hovering. Greg's scowl faltered. Mr. Jenkins, it turned out, wasn't just a neighbor, was the original developer of Meadowview. Long retired but still a legend in the community. His word carried weight, and his sudden defense of Karen shifted the ground beneath them all. "You're out of line, Jenkins," Greg snapped, but his voice wavered. "This is HOA business." "Business?" Jenkins spat. "You're harassing a good woman over a few hens. I've seen your kind before, pushing folks out for profit." Karen seized the moment. "Get off my property," she said, stepping closer. "You've got no right here." That's when Rusty, the rooster, decided he'd had enough. With a piercing crow, he burst from the coop, feathers fluffed like a warrior's crest, and charged. His talons gleamed as he barreled toward Greg, who yelped and stumbled backward, tripping over a garden hose. Linda shrieked, dropping her clipboard as Rusty flapped at her knees. The scene was chaos, feathers flying, Greg scrambling, Linda running for the gate. Karen couldn't help it. She laughed, a raw, triumphant sound. The HOA cops fled, their authority in tatters. But victory was fleeting. That night, Karen sat with her kids, expecting a fight but not the heartbreak that followed. At dawn, she found the coop vandalized, wire cut, feed scattered. Her hens were safe, but Rusty was gone. A note, scrawled in angry ink, was nailed to the coop. "You'll pay for this." Karen's heart sank. She searched for hours, calling Rusty's name, but he was nowhere. Lily sobbed, clutching a feather. Max, usually stoic, punched the fence in rage. Karen felt the weight of her defiance. Had she pushed too far? Was her stand worth this loss? Mr. Jenkins came by, his face grim. "I heard about Rusty," he said. "I'm sorry, but don't let them break you. This fight's bigger than chickensits about freedom." Karen nodded, tears stinging. She rebuilt the coop, stronger this time, and posted a sign, "HOA versus hens. We won't back down." Neighbors rallied, bringing eggs, lumber, even a new rooster. But Rusty's absence lingered, a bitter reminder that standing up had a cost. The HOA backed off, cowed by Jenkins' influence and the community's support. But Karen knew the war wasn't over. Linda and Greg would regroup, and the fight for her little patch of freedom would continue. She looked at her kids, their faces fierce with hope, and vowed to keep going for them, for Rusty, for every underdog who dared to defy. What would you do when power tries to crush heart? Share your thoughts on justice, community, and standing your ground.